Hello everybody! Today I want to share with you one of my favorite hobbies, disc golf! Woohoo! Okay, the basics of disc golf is just like normal golf, you got 9 or 18 holes, and you even have a variety of discs that you would use, or in just like the drivers that you'd have, you have your long range drivers, you have fairway drivers, and you even have mid-range drivers, and your putters. And like a normal game of golf, you are trying to make play the entire round with as few throws as possible. That being said, that's where all the similarities stop. In disc golf, each disc has a particular shape. For example, a very long-range driver has more of a knife-edge shape than the putter, which is a lot more rounded and bulky. Where the long-range driver is designed to fly long, straight throws, the putter is designed to just take a short throw and it will drop off really quickly. The hope being that when you're up to putt and you throw the putt, that if you happen to overshoot your basket, it will drop to the ground really close to the basket rather than flying off into the distance and making it harder to make your next shot, adding another shot to your total count. The holes in disc golf are baskets, and usually the baskets are about waist height, and they have a top that is a little bit over 5 feet, or just barely over 4 feet or 5 feet sometimes, and chains that hang down to allow the disc to hit into the chains and make it drop down into the basket rather than bounce off objects. It absorbs the force of the movement of the disc, allowing it to drop into the basket, giving you the chance of getting into the hole. The various discs, for example, this is a putter. Its distance, it's not good for long distances, so it is intended to drop to the ground earlier, faster, just like I mentioned. It doesn't require a lot of force to throw this disc. You can almost throw it with no spin and it'll fly the 5, 10, 15, or 20 so feet that you need it to fly with the appropriate amount of force. Next, from putters, there are your medium range discs. They have a little bit less bulky on the end, and they're designed for more accuracy, so that if you're trying to weave around a tree or whatnot, as well as if you're just trying to get to the hole and you're not, you want to make sure that you don't hurt your distance drivers. Your mid-range drivers are excellent for that because the material on them is still durable enough that if it does hit an object, it won't ding up the edges as much. Then you start getting into the more fairway drivers, which are starting to get more of that knife edge blade look to them, and these drivers will be able to glide long distances, but they usually have a wider fade on them, and I'll explain what the fade is in a minute. But they have a wider fade so that you can maneuver around objects by you throwing it the right way. And then you've got distance drivers. Distance drivers have the aerodynamics to fly the longest and glide the longest, and they will also stay the straightest and truest to how you throw them. They are very susceptible to how you tilt or spin them when you throw them, and so those are some of the physics that will need to be discussed in a few seconds. When you throw, typically people will end up using either their left hand or their right hand for their dominant hand, but you'll need to learn how to throw on the inside, which is a backhand, or you'll have to throw outside, which is a forehand. When you throw, you're gonna have you have a lot of things that your arm will do in the process of getting ready to throw. You're gonna want to learn how to throw with the disc perfectly flat, just to get the control, because if you have the tip, if you tip it up or tip it down, you'll cause different things to happen. If you even tip the outside up or down, you can cause more turn in the direction that it is. If it's tipped up and I throw it forehand, it's going to turn more to the left before it fades off and turns to the right. If I throw this on with my backhand and I tip it up, it'll pull more to the right before it fades off to the left. If I throw the disc backhand, I'm going to just use this as a pointer. I will try to release it so it pulls a little bit to the right initially, but because I'm facing out to my left, typically the disc will fade off to the left, which means as it loses its rotation, it will start to catch the wind in a different way, and it will pull to the left when it starts to do that. So you can plan out it looks kind of like an S-curve whenever you throw every disc. Granted, that S-curve is either stronger or weaker when with how much snap you can apply to it, which is the spin that you release your disc with, and how much power you can put behind it initially. With all those physics in place, with the spin of the disc you'll start to notice, as you get the practice, you'll start to notice that you'll land the disc where you think that you're aiming for. And initially it's going to take a little bit, because you've got to get used to like tipping it up when you're going with the wind. You got to get used to tipping it a little bit down when you're going against the wind. And when you learn about the outer tip to kind of force more of a direction, left or right, will also become important factors, because as you get more into it, you'll find that you need to go around a tree, or you need to weave through 2 or 3 trees, which are beautiful obstacles for disc golf, because you don't really have sand pits that are going to cause you problems in disc golf. More, you have water hazards, you have trees that get in your way, and those make the courses more fun. It's not really all that exciting to play on a field, say like going out to a football field and playing on a football field. With no trees and no obstacles in your way, it just you're just throwing straight to the basket. So disc golf depends a lot on having hazards like bushes and trees and stuff, and they'll even set up times where they'll have little arrows that point in a direction indicating you got to get your disc through here first or you'll be out of bounds. And if you're playing more professionally, those will become important, because they would cost you an extra throw, or I don't know how they score it. I have never played professionally, but I'm assuming that it would cost you like an extra throw, or you'd have to go back and rethrow it because you'd have gone out of bounds and you'd have to rethrow that throw. There's a variety of different things that could happen, but they're all there to make the course more interesting rather than just straight lines to the basket. So those are some of the basics of disc golf, and if you decide to try it, you at least know kind of what you're going to do in terms of playing the game. In addition to playing disc golf, there is an app called UDisc, which will, like, if I go into UDisc, ding, there you go. UDisc will allow you to look up, it'll allow you to use the maps to look up where the disc golf courses are, and it's really accurate. Like, you can find where the disc golf courses are, and if you decide to go to a specific course, you can then zero in on the various holes, and it'll tell you where the holes are, and it goes to satellite view so that you can see what the landmarks are, helping you find like the first hole. And you can toggle through these one hole at a time, and you can see which direction you'll be going, what your landmarks will be. It's a really good app, and they've put a lot of thought into it. That being said, it makes it so that you can have access to the whole library of every disc golf course pretty much in the world. And almost 90% of them are free. So it's not that hard, that as long as you have your discs with you, you can just go pick up a game anywhere you want. That's disc golf for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. It will be my last for a couple of months. It looks like my work is going to go through with sending me on a long-term tour to other locations, and that will result in me being without equipment to record. I might be able to get away with making some videos with my phone, but for the next 2 months I will be a little bit far off. And I don't know if I'll have a chance to upload any videos, but I will do my best. But if you don't see anything for 2 months, I will be back in about September, when I finish helping out this situation that my work needs me to go help, and hopefully we'll be able to get things rolling again. There will be more to come. It'll just be a little bit of a gap. So, in my I guess it is time that I say goodbye in my customary Mickey. Okay then, it'll be a wonderful day when I can get back to making more videos. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.